Second, let me get this up and going. I don't know how to get that going. Okay. Hi, everybody. Let me get to my slides. Okay. Let me get this big. So today I wanted to talk about living your mission and following your passion and doing what you feel like you are meant to do in life. And if you don't know how to do that or where to start, we're going to go over that today. So this is one of my big passions. I fully believe that like if you have a inkling in your heart or something that's tugging at your heartstrings, that you should definitely pursue that. It wouldn't be in your heart if you weren't meant to do it. So a lot of times we get caught up in like the hows, the whys, the what ifs, but I really believe that if it's in your mind and in your heart, then it was put there for a reason. Okay, so let's get started. So I kind of think that the first thing that you need to think about when trying to figure out like your career path or something that's really passionate about you is to ask yourself these questions about what is your passion. If you had all day, any day to do whatever you wanted, what would it be? What is your number one favorite book? What do you gravitate towards in your free time? When you go to websites, which ones do you frequent the most? Is it clothes? Is it hair? Is it fitness? Is it science? Whatever it may be. When you go to Facebook, whose profiles do you check out? What blogs you subscribe to? What activity you can just get lost in when time flies by and all of a sudden you look up and hours have passed. And for me, this past summer, I went on a trip with some girlfriends not this past summer, the summer before, to Martha's Vineyard. And I just when I left, I just knew I needed to figure out what I was meant to do in life. And I have done hair for 10 years now. And don't get me wrong, I do love hair. I love my clients. I love everyone I work with. I love the social aspect and I love all that. But I just still felt like something was missing. And I found myself in my free time on Pinterest, like finding new workouts, looking up new workouts, and kind of stalking, if you will, fitness professionals on Instagram and Facebook. And I just kept telling myself, but you're not a personal trainer. You can't do that. And so finally, when I was at the beach last summer, I was like, you know what? Like, that's just an excuse I'm telling myself. If that's what I want to do, then do it. No one's stopping you. If that's your passion, do it. So anyways, that's kind of how I fell into this. And I just truly believe that, just kind of look at what you do in your free time and make that your life mission, make it your career. So next is the success mindset, which mindset, like I said, has a lot to do with it. It's really easy to talk yourself out of things because it seems, you play the but game, but I'm not an expert. Who am I to give this advice? And so on. You tell yourself all these things, but you have to think of your life like from your deathbed, looking back, and what you would want to see and do like through your life, and what you would want to like look back and be proud of. And I think that's how you have to look at it in a bigger way, not just the here and now, not just, well, I have to bring home a paycheck, not just financially. I mean, I know all those are important, but if it's important enough to you, you'll figure out a way to do that. You have the choice to not believe only that you'll be successful, but that you already are. It's kind of like one of those things, you have to believe it before you can achieve it. It's kind of like Walt Disney. Once the park was finished, when he first, everyone thought he was crazy for doing Disneyland, I should say. Everyone thought he was crazy. And of course, banks, I think it was like 120 some banks turned him down. No one saw his vision, but he saw it. He saw it. He in his mind believed it was already happening and knew it was already going to happen. And of course, by the time that his first park opened, he had died. And I know that one of the CEOs or managers high up at the time walked up to his wife and was like, "Oh, Walt would just have loved to see this." And she smiled and looked back at him and she said, "He already did." Because you have to know it, you have to believe it before you even step foot into it. You have to know that you're worth it and that you're capable of it. It's kind of like if you want to be fit and healthy, you just have to start acting like a fit and healthy person would act. You can't just do the same old thing. It's the definition of insanity. Doing the same old thing and expecting different results. It's just, that's not going to happen. And ask yourself, why not me? And know and believe that that's a sincere truth of the situation. Because why not you? Who's telling you that it shouldn't be you? I mean, of course, anyone with a dream is capable of doing it. So I know it's hard work. Don't get me wrong. It's not easy. It's not an overnight thing, but you're definitely capable of anything that is in your heart. And again, like I said, the common buts that come up for a lot of people, but I'm not an expert, but who am I to give this advice? Be that person, do this thing. I feel like I'm a fraud. What if no one believes me? What if no one supports me? What if I make a fool of myself? What if I suck? What if I lose my security and end up with no money? I know that's a big one. That's a big one for me too. But what if I can't make it work? But what if I fail? I mean, these are common thoughts, and a lot of times these are enough to make you not do it. But if it's important enough, you will do it. You'll find a way. If you haven't taken your leap why haven't you taken your leap to reach your full potential? So I believe that there's 4 reasons, and they are: first of all, you don't believe you deserve it. You don't believe you can actually do it. You don't have the time and energy to put into it, and you don't have the know-how. All these can be changed. We'll go into those a little bit more right here. So the I don't deserve it. I'm going to go, just like I said, go and call BS on this one. You need to decide you deserve it. It's only up to you. No one else is going to give you the justification. You have to decide that you deserve it and want it bad enough. If the thought of doing something greater or serving a larger mission is in your mind and in your heart, then you absolutely deserve it. It wouldn't be there if you were worthy and deserving, if you weren't if you weren't worthy and deserving of that thing. So I believe that, I touched on earlier, that first of all, I believe that your mission in life and your purpose in life, I can have great aspects of money or fame or success involved, but I think the actual real mission and real purpose of your mission is to serve others. Because when you're doing that, that's, I think, the only true way you can feel fulfilled in life. So, I mean, there's of course other things that are in it for you as well, and if you work hard, good things will come. But I believe that the sole purpose of your mission should be about doing something greater than yourself. And that's just my personal opinion. But you need to jump in and figure it out as you go. No one ever knows all the answers before they get started. And so another thing that I call the fraud syndrome. And it's like, at some point, we're just going to be found out. Someone's going to be like, maybe they're really not an expert, or maybe they just started doing this. But 95% of the people are probably feeling this exact same way and are just as secure as you. And you will never absolutely be ready, and you will never absolutely know everything. So just have to go for it. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. I get this little Mac stupid thing. Okay. Get you back up really quick. Make sure this is still going. Okay. Anyways, let me get back to that. Sorry about that. Okay. So the next one. Do I have what it takes? This is a mind problem, not an ability problem. You have whatever it takes if you decide you do. Last summer, I wasn't a certified personal trainer, and I just thought that was going to be the thing stopping me. Well, you know what? You can get certified. There's always an answer. If you need to go back to school to do your thing, you can do that. There's always a solution. There's always an answer. You can always acquire more knowledge and expertise. Kind of like I said, you can go back to school. You can get a mentor, which I did. You can learn from the best. There's so many ways to reach your greater potential. You can always work hard and gain insight as you grow and learn. The only thing that's holding you back are your own thoughts on your potential, and the future belongs to you and you alone. You can't do it for anyone else. You have to do it for yourself. You have to do it because it's burning such a desire and a hole in your heart that you would be letting the world down and doing a disservice if you didn't do it. All right. Ooh. Okay, so this is a big one too. Everyone thinks I'm not an expert. Well, Brendon Burchard in his book, what is his book called? The Millionaire Messenger. I highly recommend it. Breaks it down into that there is 3 type of experts. And of course, all 3 would be ideal, but really you only need one to have a viable business and have people believe in you, purchase from you, and be successful. And if you have one of these and do it to the best of your ability. So the first one is the role model. You act the part, you practice what you preach regardless of formal studies in the area, and you have the experience to back up your claims. So like for an example, in the fitness industry, like you could lead by example. You can build trust with people by proving that you live this way and it works for you, and people see you doing it and they see you achieving results. Therefore, you are a role model. And you've proven it time and time again. Then there is the researcher. You know the industry inside and out. You know how to read, research, you're educated, and you have the science up and down. These are this is like the science part of it, you know the differences between, fat calories and protein calories, whatever in my industry. You know the actual science behind it. And this is really awesome too. A lot of times people want the cold hard facts. So this is great if you have this as well. And then the third one is the results getter. You clearly know how to get people results. These are people in the trenches figuring out what works. So the results getter, they're not role models because they don't rely on their looks or actions to sell themselves, but they've proven it with other people. So, for example, competition coaches in fitness. I'm sorry, I'm using a lot of fitness examples because I pertained it to that just because this is my passion. I would consider this like a fitness competition coach. So they don't look the part of the fitness competitor, but they know how to get the results. So, like I said, you don't need all 3. You can, but just to have one is awesome. And there's really successful people who just are one. So what type of expert are you? So think about that. And I think that will help you kind of, move forward in figuring out what your mission is. So this is the best moment. Once you've gone through all these other steps, you figure out, why not me? The best moment is when you truly can own that you are worthy of doing something bigger and better, and that you don't need anyone's approval. And I think that last part is the most important, that you don't need people's approval, because that definitely can get in the way. And I've lived my life striving for other people's approval. And honestly, at the end of the day, who cares? It's your life and you only get one shot. So don't care about what they think. Decide and do what you think is the best option. Let's see here. All right. So, once you have decided, ask yourself these questions. What can I do to set myself apart in this industry? If I want to make this a career, how can I make money? Who is already doing what I want to do? How can I get in touch with these people? How can I learn from them? If I want to be successful, what will it take? And what am I willing to sacrifice? And what am I willing to struggle for? So the main one and this one, well, for example, when I wanted to get into the fitness industry after just reading and studying and looking up and following fitness professionals and idolizing their lives, I decided, who do I most relate to? Who do I most connect with? Who's doing it the way I would want to do it? Not exactly, but just who's living their mission and who's being authentic. And for me, that was Jill, my mentor, because she truly, even though I hadn't met her yet, based on social media and her blogs and her emails, she truly practiced what she preached and lived her life unapologetically and authentically. And I really, really appreciated that. And so I didn't know that she had a mentorship, but I researched her, looked into her, and I found out she did. And it was definitely an investment and it was definitely a leap of faith. But I decided if I want to pursue this, I should learn from someone who has already done it in a way I would like to do it and has successful results. So it's really, it seems really far off when you like see someone that you idolize. You're like, well, I'm never going to be able to get in touch with them. I'll never get to know them or talk to them or ask them how they did it. But that's not true. Really, it's the world's so small and there's always ways to get in touch with people. So don't give up because you don't think you can. Another one that I really love, probably one of my favorite questions ever. I read an article last year and it was called "What Are You Willing?" Or it was called I think the article is called like "What Do You Want Out of Life?" And it's like when people are asked that, most people say, I want to be happy and I want a family and I want a nice job and a nice house or a good career or whatever it may be that people say very commonly. But and when you ask things like that, it's just so broad, your answers. What is a good career? What is a nice house? But this man, I'll try to find the article and post it to the group. He was saying that the real question you need to ask yourself is, what are you willing to struggle for? Because everyone wants an amazing job and financial independence, but not everyone wants to suffer through 60-hour work weeks, long commutes, paperwork, whatever. Everybody wants to have an amazing marriage and awesome sex and a great relationship, but not everyone's willing to go through the tough conversations, the hurt feelings, the emotional stress to get there. And so in this article, he says happiness requires a bit of struggle. And like, what are you willing to struggle for? How far are you willing to go to get exactly what you want? And I think that when you can frame the question in that way, it is super liberating and it totally changes the game. It really makes you question and decide what's worth it to you. What's worth it? And I think for me, I've like found that answer. And I, of course, am definitely not where I want to be, but I feel like I'm on the right path. And it's like the most amazing, incredible feeling when you finally know that you're living your purpose. So I hope all of you, if you're not, can find that. And it might not even have to be a career. It could just be an organization that that you want to belong to, that tugs at your heart, or just of some volunteer work, whatever it may be. It doesn't have to be your end all be all career, but I know that just so many people, and I see it every day, dread Mondays, live for Fridays, and it's just not worth it. So anyway, I just love and adore you all. Sorry, I was really, that's awesome. I was just really excited to talk about this with you guys because I've seen it time and time again, people taking risks and actually achieving true happiness and true bliss and doing what they're passionate about and making a career out of it as well. So I've seen it with my husband, and I think I've learned the most from him because no one tells him no, and he just proves everyone wrong. So I think it's pretty awesome. I mean, when he told me he wanted to open a winery in Bozeman, I thought he was the craziest human ever, but he didn't let my opinion or anyone else's for that matter stop him. So you kind of just have to put away the naysayers and just do your thing, listen to your heart, figure out what you're willing to struggle for, and definitely take a risk. So anyway, I loved you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. And if you have any questions, let me know. Oh, let me see if we're still up. Okay.